What up, everybody? Today I'm going to drop my first video where I actually talk to people instead of just posting videos about how awesome I am. It's a little hot in here, so bear with me. But the very first topic I'm going to talk about is pretty straightforward. It all started from a discussion about chalk, which we're going to talk about first. And then we're going to talk about different grips and straps, in case some of you aren't familiar with them. So let's get started. And we're back. This right here is our old school style chalk container. It's a 4x4 with a kitchen bowl screwed to the top of it. As you can see, it's filled with beautiful, beautiful chalk. This is your standard gymnastic chalk. You can buy pretty much anywhere on Amazon. Super, super cheap. This much. They all comes in a big block that breaks down into smaller blocks. Lasts for a very long time. You're going to have yourself a wire brush generally associated with it, because when you use chalk on a barbell, the chalk gets down in the knurling, like you can see on my Texas deadlift bar here, right here. Some people don't like this. Some people fear that it will make them lose their grip, so they use the wire brush when they're deadlifting to clean it out. I love chalk. The more chalk, the merrier, if you ask me. So I do not remove it, but just in case, I have it here. So, when I am training people and they are not familiar with the use of chalk, I will encourage them to get some when they're doing a heavy lift of various kinds. And what generally happens is that they mosey over to the chalk and they pick up a tiny nugget like so, and they drop it on there. Whew, got my chalk on, and they barely apply anything to their hands. To me, that is unacceptable. Some so-called gyms don't allow chalk. If you find yourself at a gym like that, you need to train elsewhere. I don't care what purpose you're training for, bodybuilding, weightlifting, strongman, whatever. I guarantee you that a gym that allows chalk is a better gym. So, when I instruct my clients to chalk up, this is what I mean. Either you grab the block, like so, and you rub it on there liberally. That's one option. And I mean liberally, all over, in the groove, up on the thumb, down in the palm. That is an appropriate amount of chalk. Or you take some of this beautiful powder, like so, and you rub it on there. You can see some of it is blowing out of the bowl. Who cares? It's a gym. Now you can see I have my hands properly chalked. If that's too much, I can clap a little bit off or blow some off, and I still have a fantastic amount of chalk on my hands that will help you maintain your grip. Some people don't truly understand how much of a difference this is. They don't understand, but I'm telling you, try it. It will make an enormous amount of difference in the amount of weight you can hold, even if your hands don't feel slick or sweaty. The friction between the chalk, your hands, and the bar will allow you to hold on to that weight longer, particularly if you're using a pronated grip. Which brings us to our next thing, grips. Moving on, let's talk about some grips. So the primary grip most people are going to use for most things, your normies, which may include you, is a pronated grip, whether you're barbell rowing, deadlifting, all kinds of different exercises. It's where both of your hands are facing behind you. If you put them down to your sides. Basically looks like this. Very serviceable grip. That being said, even with chalk, your grip strength will run out very quickly on the pronated grip. I don't care how strong you are, it's not going to be as strong as obviously as straps, or as an alternating grip, or as a hook grip, which I'm going to talk about here in a second. So first, let's talk about the alternating grip. Alternating is where you rotate one of your hands the opposite direction of the pronated grip. So either this side or that side. You've commonly seen it used in the deadlift, probably most often, and it's going to look something like this. The benefit of this is because the hands are facing against each other, and the weakest part of the grip will be the fingers, obviously, because they can open. They are rolling against each other. The fact that they are working against each other actually makes the grip stronger. However, there are some negatives to this grip. injuries, imbalances, and some would argue that the hook grip is actually stronger. You can't use the alternating grip in the Olympic lifts, for example, the clean and jerk or the snatch. You cannot use the alternating grip, so that's where another grip, i.e. the hook grip, could come into play. So what you might have heard or seen on the internet is some horrific videos of people's bicep tearing on the hand that is rotated forward. That is a possibility, however, is far less common than the internet might make it seem. That being said, something to take into consideration when choosing your grip. Also, if you are a bodybuilding type individual or physique focused, years and years and years of using the same alternating grip is going to obviously create imbalances or asymmetries in your physique. So take that into account. Let's next talk about the hook grip. So the hook grip is a pronated style grip. However, the actual use of your hands and fingers is a little bit different. So you approach the bar in the same way. You're going to wrap your thumb underneath so that it's flat as you can get on the bar. Going to wrap your first and second finger around said thumb and then close your grip like so. So that way your first two fingers, index and your pointer finger, your index and your middle finger are pointing or rotating over that thumb that is on the bar. So you're using those two fingers to put pressure into the thumb, pressing it into the bar, creating more friction, which in theory will prevent the bar from sliding out of your hand. And I'll show a close-up grip on that, a close-up video on that here in a second. So the downfalls of that are that it can be painful, and then it can cause tears of the skin, blisters, etc. Just like anything, over time you're going to develop calluses. So the painful part of it will lessen somewhat, and this takes a little bit of practice and getting used to compared to the alternating grip. Next, let's talk about straps. We're going to talk about the two most common, in my opinion, types of straps. There are a million different kinds. Some of them are more gimmicky than anything. We're going to talk about two basic styles that are tried and true and will not let you down. First, we're going to talk about this traditional loop style, bodybuilding style, if you will. In order to set them up, you run the thin edge through the loop. You're going to put it on your hand like so. So, you will pull it tight. When you have it on correctly, it's wrapped around the wrist, and the strap end will go to the webbing between your thumb and your pointer finger, like so. That is how to put them on correctly. To apply them, going to approach the bar with a pronated grip. Your hands are going to be on one side, the strap is going to be on the other. You are going to wrap the strap around repeatedly, getting it tighter and tighter. So now you are pressing on the strap and the bar, and additionally the strap is tight against your wrist, making it very hard to lose control of the bar. So there you go. It's a very strong grip, not as strong as what we're going to talk about next, which is figure eight straps. The only real downfall I find about these, just like any strap, is you use them for everything, you're going to have a weaker grip than you otherwise would. Also, if they start to get frayed or whatever, they can rip. I have had them break off in the middle of lifts before. Next, let's talk about figure eight straps. All right, figure eight straps, one of my new favorites. Called figure eight straps because they look like an 8. It's crazy. When you're using figure eight straps properly, it becomes nearly impossible to drop a weight. How do you use them? You stick your whole hand up to the wrist through the top, like so. Again, hand on one side of the bar, you stick your hand directly through the other part of the figure eight, so that it is basically, if you lift it up with your wrist like this, it would be supporting you. In order to hold on, You're going to rotate your hands in so that there is some tension on the straps themselves. I recommend going with a thumbless grip because if you have a tight strap and you drop your weight hard here, your thumb can get trapped and you could break your thumb. So I go with a thumbless grip because you're not going to drop it, because if you have properly fitted figure 8 straps, you literally cannot drop the bar. These are a hair loose. If they were tighter, I could stand here and rep away forever and not have to worry about dropping the bar because the tension is on the wrists, not in the hands. So these are figure 8 straps. Again, the only real downfall is that your grip can get weak if you use them all the time. So if you're training to compete in powerlifting, where you're not allowed to use straps, you're going to want to choose the alternating or the hoof grip. So that's my deep dive into chalk, grips, and straps. There's going to be a lot more content coming out. So subscribe and follow us on other social media, particularly Instagram and Facebook,